We've spent the last few days focusing heavily on our personal, internal walk. How we hear the word, how we handle our stumbles, and how we apply truth to our own hearts. But the Christian life was never meant to be a solo trek in the wilderness. If you try to carry your little lamp completely by yourself, a strong gust of wind can easily blow it out. But when multiple lamps come together, they create a blazing fire the darkness cannot touch. Welcome to Day 20 of Faith Foundations. Today, we are hitting a massive milestone as we look at the vital role of the church in lighting the way. Our foundational verse, Romans 10:17, tells us that faith comes by hearing, and hearing through the word of Christ. But just one verse earlier, Paul asks, how can they hear without someone preaching? God intentionally designed faith to be transmitted through community. The church isn't a building. It is the gathering of believers who echoes the word of Christ to one another. Hebrews 10 verses 24 and 25 tells us to not give up meeting together, but to encourage one another daily. We need the church because there are days when your own listening ear gets tired. There are seasons when your light flickers. In those moments, you need a brother or sister in Christ to step beside you, open the word, and proclaim the truth back to your soul until your faith sparks again. The church community acts as a lighthouse, ensuring none of us drift off the narrow path alone. Your Day 20 challenge is the Community Spark. Don't just be a consumer of spiritual content today. Reach out to a fellow believer, a church member, or maybe your local pastor. Send a quick message sharing one thing you have heard from the Word during these last 20 days. Or ask them, what is God teaching you right now? By doing this, you are actively participating in the church's true mission, echoing the word of Christ so that faith can grow in someone else's heart while strengthening your own. We walk further when we walk together. Thank you for finishing Day 20 with me. Tomorrow marks the end of our third week, and we are doing our big weekly recap to prepare our hearts for the final 10 days of this journey. I'm Matthew Padiachi, and this is Faith by Hearing. Find your community, keep your ears open, and I'll see you tomorrow.
The Christian life was never meant to be a solo trek out in the wilderness all by yourself. A strong gust of wind can easily blow a single flame out, but when we come together, darkness cannot touch us. Welcome to the lighthouse, trying to carry a little lamp completely on your own. Walking through the valley, feeling elated and alone. The wind begins to howl, the storm begins to bite, and the pressure of the world is trying to kill your little light. But when multiple flames gather together in the room, they create a blazing fire that shatters all the gloom. It's the church lighting the way, standing hand in hand. A city on a hill shining bright across the land. We are echoing the word to the sister and the brother, building up the faith as we fight for one another. The ear gives sight when the voices start to blend. We walk much further together to the end. Romans 17 says faith comes by what you hear, through the spoken word of Christ, driving out the fear, but just fear. But just one verse before, Paul asks a question true. How can hear without a voice preaching it to you? God designed the message to be carried in the crowd. The church is not a building, it's the saints crying out loud. Hebrews 10 tells us not to give up meeting here, encouraging each other daily through the passing year. Because there are days when your own listening ear gets tired, seasons when your rhythm drags your light is uninspired. That's when a brother or a sister's right up to your soul, proclaiming the truth until the brokenness is whole. A holy lighthouse standing firm above the crashing foam, ensuring none of us drift off the narrow path back home. It's the church lighting the way, standing hand in hand. A city on a hill shining bright across the land. We are echoing the word to the sister and the brother, building Building up the faith as we fight for one another. The ear gives sight when the voices start to blend. We walk much further together to the end. So here's the Day 20 challenge, the community spark. Don't just be a consumer sitting quietly in the dark. Reach out to a believer, a member or a guide. Send a quick message from the fire inside. Sure, ask them what the Lord is teaching them in all His ways. Echoing the word of Christ, let the faith grow. Strengthen your own heart, everywhere you go. We walk further when we walk together. Faith by hearing.